Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the middle of June 2025. You have this frog spirit, it says clear out the clutter. You also have this beaver spirit, it says lay a solid foundation. I think both things are great to do right now. You have the tower, which literally is about your foundation. So I wouldn't even worry about that tower because we have that beaver spirit. The tower always falls and gets reduced down to its foundation. The other thing about the tower is that the whole point of the tower is that these people have been ignoring reality for too long, and now they're being brought down to reality. And so sometimes, with clutter, we cannot see reality for how it actually is. And so when we clear out the clutter, we can see reality. The other thing about the frogs is, frogs are very sensitive to their environments. And frogs are kind of like environmental indicators, right? They are the first to die when something is wrong in an environment. And so, but that's like popping into my head, a little bit of nerd fact for you for the day. But what I would say here, Aquarius, is that, it's like, I think you need to pay attention to yourself. It's like if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. That's like all that stuff is popping into my head with the tower and the frog, and I think we really need to trust ourselves. It's like I said this a couple weeks ago. My brother and I, we were supposed to travel, and I just got a really bad feeling, and I was like, we're not going. And so we ended up not traveling, right? And I don't know. I just have had a very weird feeling about travel. I literally, before all these plane crashes started, I literally did a live with Devin Dewar, and I said, I'm not going on planes this year, plain and simple. Literally that day we had that first crash with the helicopter, and there's been a plane crash every freaking day since, practically. So, I don't know. What I would say is if something doesn't feel right, trust it. And, I think you need to trust your feelings. With the beaver, it says lay a solid foundation. And so, again, the tower always gets reduced down to its foundation, and then we always rebuild the tower back stronger. So I feel a lot of you have already had a tower moment, and you could be rebuilding after a tower moment. So that's popping into my head as well. You have the Temperance card. Temperance is a card of patience, and I feel you have been patient, but one thing I'm noticing is the crown here. You have the crown that's falling off the top of the tower, and then you have a new crown right back here, and this right here is called the Path to Glory. And I think that it's time for Aquarius to go claim their crown, which I'm pretty sure I've said to you recently as well. And so there could be a new crown, something that you are creating or something that you're manifesting in your life, whatever it is. And I would just keep manifesting or keep working towards manifesting whatever you're trying to manifest here. And I would also say that if you're waiting, sometimes I feel with the Temperance card that he's trying to be perfect when he should just be putting in the work to go get that crown. And so I feel that for you, it's time for you to go get that crown. You have the Chariot. The Chariot can definitely represent a victory or a big success coming in for you. So I feel it is time for you to go have a victory with the Chariot. The Chariot can, with the tower, can also be a move, is where I was going with that. So some of you could just be moving. You also have the King of Cups, which is a clue card for me. And, I have a couple cards in the tarot that I call clue cards that they kind of mean something else to me than the traditional meaning. And the King of Cups is a card of a home. You also have the Two of Wands, which can also be a move. So, again, the Tower probably isn't even that big of a deal. Could just be you moving. But the Chariot, I feel, is encouraging Aquarius to move in their own direction. He's leaving the city behind him behind. And as I have been saying, and I'm sorry because, people keep telling me I'm repeating myself, but, well, it's yes, but it's also literally we will be dead the next time this happens. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to set yourself apart, Pluto and Aquarius, because it takes 200 and whatever years for Pluto to come back to a sign. So again, this is your one and only chance. You will, and even if you're born, even if you're saying I'm going to be reincarnated, guess what? Even if you get reincarnated 60 and you die 60 years from now, you're still not going to experience Pluto and Aquarius again until the next lifetime. So there you go. This is your one and only chance. I would take advantage of it. Anything you could do to set yourself apart, be unique, be different, any of your crazy ideas that you can put out into the world right now, that's what I would be doing, Aquarius, if I were you, because that's where your success is going to come from. With the Tower, you have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Eight of Wands is like quick success or a quick conclusion. It's kind of funny because sometimes I do think we have a Tower moment that leads to a very quick change. And that's kind of what I feel for you here, Aquarius. And it doesn't feel bad at all. It's like sometimes I think we like hold on to something in life that we shouldn't be holding on to. And then a Tower moment happens and then we release it and then we take off. And that's kind of what I'm getting here with the Tower, is that something could be taking off very quickly for you, or something could be progressing very quickly for you. And I don't know, it feels good, so wouldn't worry about it. With the Temperance card, you have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, I think that, I also think that, the whole Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto and Aquarius thing, Pluto and Capricorn going into Aquarius is like the death of establishment, the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. So I do think like Capricorn and Aquarius, you being an Aquarius, are being asked to walk away from things that no longer serve you. Or it's like you are being asked to walk away from things that have been established in your life for a long time. So that could be anything. That could be a belief system, it could be a job, a business, a relationship, multiple relationships, whatever. And you're being asked to walk away from these things to find true fulfillment. And, I really don't have any advice because you're all different. And so you're all going to have to do this in a different way. But, that's what I would be focusing on here. With the Chariot, you have the Eight of Swords. Yes, I think you need to embrace your wild side a little bit here, Aquarius, as well. It's like you need to be willing to be like messy. You need to be willing to break the rules a little bit. And I'm not saying like do something illegal. That's not what we're talking about here. But, it's like we all kind of put rules on ourselves in life that don't exist. And those are the rules that I'm talking about breaking. And so the Eight of Swords, she's only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways to accomplish her goal. And so I would just stay open to all the ways there are to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Communication is Key card. It says New Moon in Gemini. You have this Gibbous Moon. It says you're very close to achieving your goal, which is great. So, number one, you have the Eight of Wands. The thing about the Eight of Wands with the Tower is that we probably should be making sure that we are very clear with our communication. It's like one thing that I, have been telling people is that with all this energy in Aries as well, I would just I would be careful of saying things. Like, I don't think we should be censoring ourselves right now, but I do think we should be careful of pissing people off, right? And so, don't say things that are going to, start a fight in your relationships, for example. Or, don't say things to, piss off your neighbor or to piss off your boss or, things like that. People are a little bit extra touchy right now. And this will continue all summer. So, I don't think we should censor ourselves. But again, I also, at the same time, I kind of think that we are in a time where we should probably try to choose peace as much as possible. And, that's what I would be doing here. So, plain and simple. I also feel that you could definitely be very close to achieving a goal, something you've been trying to accomplish for a while. You have the King of Swords, the Hermit, and the Devil. I kind of feel like the King of Swords is just you here, Aquarius. So whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. Right below it, we have the Hermit. The King of Swords is the card of knowledge and wisdom. He says you have gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom in life. And I definitely feel a lot of you have gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom on things that you've been trying to grow or create or build. And obviously that is a good thing. The King of Swords, he needs to use his knowledge and wisdom for success. And that's what I would be doing if I were you, is using your talents, gifts, skills, and abilities to be more successful. He also has these butterflies behind him there. I think you can see those butterflies. And the butterflies represent change. So, obviously a lot of you could be going through changes. You have the Hermit. I kind of feel like you need to act as if you've earned something with that card that says you are very close to achieving your goal. The Hermit has been through a dark night of the soul. And now he is standing at the top of this mountain and he's shining his inner light. But, sometimes I think he is staying stuck at the top of the mountain when he should be coming down from the mountain and he should be shining his inner light more. And that's what I feel like you need to do here, Aquarius, is you need to shine your inner light more or you need to get more attention, right? Or stand out more is what this card is saying to me, to you. And that's what I would be doing with the Hermit. The Hermit can feel a little bit stuck. Now, this is definitely something I think is true for Aquarius, is that, some of you, it's like I don't think you're completely stuck. I think you're just maybe not sure what your next step is in life in general. It's kind of funny because like I'm an Aquarius rising. I have Mercury in Aquarius, and I'm only a 5-degree Pisces, right? So I'm born very close to Aquarius personally, and I kind of feel this right now as well, where it's like I kind of know where I'm going, but I kind of don't at the same time. And I just feel that for you Aquarius right now. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I do think there's a lot of clarity coming in July, especially, but also today is June 14th. We have that square, Neptune-Jupiter square or whatever, and we have Saturn-Jupiter square as well, coming up, like, I think it's exact on the 18th. So, like, around the 18th of June, a little bit of a weird time. It's like, I think as we get closer to July, things will get a lot better, and things will feel a lot better, and also probably more clear as well. So if you are waiting for clarity, I do feel like basically there is clarity coming in. You have the devil. Yeah, there's something about this time where we have to get rid of things that no longer serve us. Almost every single sign has had the devil. And so I think we all need to, release things that are holding us back, release those people, places, and things that are clearly toxic. And if we do that, I think things will go very well. But if we hold on to things that are toxic, then we're going to have a hard time. Remember what I said. Frogs are very sensitive to their environment, right? So I think that you could be very sensitive at this time, and I would pay attention to that. Maybe you need to make sure you're being healthy and make sure you're not like putting yourself in toxic environments and things like that. I kind of feel more general, if that makes sense, about this energy I would say for the rest of the summer, not even just like right now. With the King of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's like some sort of cycle that Aquarius needs to end. Tower, Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare, so there's like something that has to come to an end. The thing about the Nine of Swords is that he's in pain, but he's not in enough pain to do anything to change it. And so the Nine of Swords, it's like, to me personally, I think the Nine of Swords is the worst card in the tarot. I don't even think the Tower is even close. I think the Nine of Swords is the worst card, and because again, he's in pain, but he's not doing anything about it to change the situation. And I think that's what you have to do here with that Nine of Swords, is that you have to do something to change your situation. With the Hermit, you have the Queen of Swords. If you want love, this could also say that you're overthinking a love situation. Like if especially if you're interested in a person here with the Lovers, and that is making it more painful than it needs to be. It's like, obviously if you're interested, the number one question I used to get all the time was people would say to me, I like this person. Should I tell this person that I like them? And I would say, well, yeah, of course. It doesn't matter if they say yes or no, or if the answer is positive or negative. Right now you are torturing yourself by not knowing. And people always say, yeah, but I would want to stay friends. I'm like, yeah, but not really. It's like, yeah, it's nice to say that. It's nice to say like, oh, I don't want to tell this person because I'd rather have them be a friend, but that's not true, because you don't want to be the friend. You want more. And so it's like, to me, I think it's better to be honest, and even if you are going to lose that person, as a friend, because it's like you're just torturing yourself, right? And I feel like that's kind of what I'm picking up on here, Aquarius, especially if you're looking for love, is that some of you could be torturing yourselves by just not saying something. With the Devil, you have the Six of Pentacles. I really feel that, Aquarius, I always say this to you, and I think it's very true for Aquarius, that you really need to trust the evidence. The other thing is Six of Pentacles is good, but Six of Pentacles can also say you need to look at the things that you're putting time, effort, energy, and attention into, and you really need to make sure that they're worth it. If you're putting work into a business or a career or whatever, but you're only getting breadcrumbs out of the situation, there's probably something better that you could be doing with your time. Same thing in love. It's like if you're in a connection and you're settling for crumbs, there's probably something better that you could find. So I kind of feel this is saying don't settle for environments or situations with that Devil where you're only getting crumbs. Make sure that you're getting the full feast, right? Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this time to go card. You also have this time for a nap card as well. So yeah, definitely time to release yourself from some sort of like tower situation. Some of you, if you need like a nap or need to take a break, I would be taking those breaks for sure. You have the King of Cups, the Hangman, and the Four of Cups. Some of you definitely could be attracting like a King of Cups type person into your life. You actually have three kings here. You have the King of Swords, King of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. Sometimes I feel that we might get the other king, and if we do, then you are attracting an emperor into your life. But if we don't, sometimes I think three kings is basically saying that you're attracting someone who is almost an emperor. So, again, definitely could be attracting a solid connection. I also feel that the King of Cups can represent heightened emotions. In the King of Cups, we have this fish or this whale over here. I prefer to say that this is a whale because the reason is that this, whether it's a fish or whale, doesn't matter. That fish whale represents needing to not drown in your emotions. It basically says you can process your emotions, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. But eventually we have to come up for air. And I definitely get that feeling for you, Aquarius, where, we are kind of like in a heightened emotional time. There's a lot of heightened emotions around the world for obvious reasons. And, I think that, yeah, of course, we need to process our emotions. We need to, think through things and feel through things. But, again, the card itself reminds us not to drown in our emotions. And I would definitely be careful of that. The King of Cups, again, is a clue card for me. It's a clue for the home. We have a lot of stuff going on here for your environment. And so I think that also a good thing for you to do right now would be to create a successful environment around you so that you can be successful. And I feel like if you do that, you will be successful. So there you go. You have the Hangman. Yeah, we are definitely in a good time for perspectives as well. I think that, this is more of not like an intuitive thing, but kind of. I just think that there's a lot of opportunity for people to like mix things together is the best way I can describe it. In July, we're going to have Uranus moving into Gemini. We have Jupiter in Gemini as well, or Jupiter in Cancer, sorry. And what I would say, and so Jupiter has left Gemini, is where I was going with that. But what I would say is that the Hangman is about looking at things from both points of view, from all perspectives, really not even both, just like all perspectives. And I feel that people who can do this are going to be very successful. Like, let's say you have a business idea, being able to see like all the different approaches that you could take to make it successful will make you ridiculously successful. Same thing in love. Looking at a love connection and looking at all the different approaches and all the different things that could make it work will make you very successful. And so I'm a big fan of Hangman energy right now just because of that Gemini energy. Even though Hangman is Pisces, doesn't matter. Pisces and Gemini are actually very similar in some ways. So, that's what I'll say there. You have the Four Cups. I think a lot of people have this fear right now of never getting what they want. Basically, I think we all are being triggered in some ways from the universe. It's like we have these dreams. Neptune and Pisces really triggers the big impossible dream. And even though Neptune's in Aries, it will retrograde back into Pisces. Also, as I always say, when a planet goes through a sign, you're learning the lessons after you are implementing the lessons. So you're not going to stop being triggered by something you want. And I think everybody is being triggered to create something they want. The problem with the Four Cups is that it doesn't look like you can have it. He wants something, but he's afraid of accepting it because he's been disappointed too many times before. So what we all have to do is we have to realize that we have the ingredients to make this successful if we apply what we have learned in the past to this new situation. And, that's basically what I would be doing there. With the King of Cups, you have the Justice card. Justice is like cause and effect. So in paying attention to the evidence, which I already said to you here, Aquarius. So I think a lot of you need to pay attention to the evidence in your life. I also think paying attention to cause and effect is going to be very important for you as well. Like if you put energy into something, do you get energy out of it? If the answer is yes, great, keep going. If the answer is no, stop and do something else. With the Hangman, you have the High Priestess. High Priestess is about needing to trust your intuition. So we are in a very intuitive time, and I think that we are all getting intuitive messages that we shouldn't be doubting. So definitely time to trust your intuition. With the Four of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Yes, need to be bold, assertive, and really go for something. Again, the people who do something anyway, regardless of what the circumstances look like, are going to be the people who are successful. I've been saying this for months. Queen of Wands, she just has a desire to do something. She has a goal in mind, something she wants to accomplish. She doesn't need things to look a certain way, right? And that is the trick in the challenge of being alive right now, is that we need to do things regardless of the circumstances, right? Which is the hardest part of being alive right now. So, I would just go for it, whatever you're trying to accomplish. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this pressure card. It says, be aware of how family influences and social pressures are influencing your career choices. You have this debt card. It says, are you in the driver's seat with your debt, or has your debt taken over and placed you in shackles? I don't know. It's coming up in the good stuff. So really, you probably are improving your finances. I feel like you're also removing pressure as well. So, that could be a good thing. You have the Two of Wands, the Lovers, and the King of Pentacles. Two of Wands is about taking the lead, making something happen. So with the Two of Wands, we really have to take the lead on our situation. But coming up in the good stuff, the Two of Wands can say that you are getting out of a comfort zone. He needs to leave his castle and get out into the world. And he needs to go have new experiences. So I do feel like a lot of you could be doing that with this card. Like you could be getting out into the world and going and having new experiences. You have the Lovers. The Lovers, of course, can represent like a perfect match coming in for you. So if you are looking for love, there definitely could be a very solid love connection coming in here. The Lovers is like a divinely guided connection as well. So, this could be something that's more like divinely guided or something that the universe is pushing you towards. So, again, if you want love, this looks amazing. I also feel that this could be like a new choice. The Lovers traditionally was a card of having a choice to make. And usually the best thing to do with the Lovers is to pick the new path. You have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles can represent increasing your wealth or, doing things to increase your wealth. He usually increases wealth with his skills. He has these grapes all over his cloak here. And the grapes in the tarot represent usually having like some sort of specific skill that can make you very successful. And so I would be using your skills to create more success in your life with the King of Pentacles. And, I think that's a thing that will probably increase your wealth. If you're looking for love as well, the King of Pentacles is usually someone very stable who wants something long term. With the Two of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles like a new beginning. And this whole entire reading really could be you moving towards a new beginning that puts you in a different environment. The Two of Wands, he has that world in his hands. He is leaving one environment and he's stepping into a new one. So I kind of feel that. That's kind of what I feel there, Aquarius, is that some of you could be stepping into a new time. The Page of Pentacles obviously could be a new person as well. Page of Pentacles usually is new communication or a person who's communicating in general. With the Lovers, you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, could be a very passionate new connection coming in for you. So again, if you're looking for love, could be something that's very passionate, where there's a lot of growth potential coming in for you here. The Ace of Wands is also out with the old, in with the new. I think this whole entire reading is out with the old, in with the new, literally. I think that a lot of you are just releasing a lot of old things. Tower, Nine of Swords. You're letting go of old ideas, belief systems, people, places, things. And I think you're just ready for a new fire. I always say that the Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot because I think that it's just that one thing we need sometimes to get motivated. It's that spark of hope, that spark of life, the spark of whatever. But with the Ace of Wands, we have to keep putting wood on the fire to get it to grow. And that is the secret with the Ace of Wands. With the King of Pentacles, oh, here you go. You have the Emperor. So definitely could be an Emperor type person that's coming in for you if you are looking for love. You could be attracting your Emperor. Like I said, this person's almost an Emperor, which is really interesting. The other thing that's popping into my head, and it could be any gender that you're attracting, by the way, but the other thing that's interesting is, again, I think this person is very different. Maybe you can't even explain it, but maybe you meet this person and you just know that this person is a different type of person. And I think that will be a little bit of a clue, which is important. If you're dating and you're meeting multiple people, again, this person will probably stand out. And that's what I would pay attention to. You have this lobster. It says financial pinch on it. I don't know. Money looks pretty good here. So maybe you have been experiencing a financial pinch. But if anything, I think you're improving your finances. So wouldn't worry. You have this nest card. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone has been getting these cards of family. So it's kind of like a time, I think, where people could just be dealing with family or doing things with family. And, again, it's not a bad thing. You have this dolphin. It says financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. So yes, definitely could be more money or an increase in your finances coming in for you here, which obviously would be a good thing. And this could be something that you worked on a while ago. So love to see it. You have this bow. It says you are highly thought of. Yes, definitely a lot of attention for Aquarius right now. Again, Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring you a lot of attention, but you have to stand. You have to chariot. You have to stand out for being unique, and that is the thing that will help you stand out the most. You have this pale card, says time to get out of a situation. Obviously, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Tower, 9 of Swords, 8 of Wands. Run. There is something that you need to run away from. I feel like you feel it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a person, a place, or a thing. And it's probably toxic. It's probably something, you know, with the devil is very obvious. The devil is something that we feel drained doing, or we feel exhausted by doing it, or we don't feel good when we do it, right? And so I really feel you need to pay attention to your feelings for whatever this is, but I would definitely get out of any situations that are holding you back. But this looks really good, Aquarius. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.